Let's compare different Kodacs in this camera, Nikon ZR. Let's switch over. Alright, so the first Kodak is the Red Raw 12-bit. It's recorded in the log profile. So see how it looks right now? It's actually 4K 24 frames per second. The good news is that with my 512 gigabytes of CF Express B card, I can record about an hour and 38 minutes. Okay, don't worry about the audio. I'm gonna use my Sony FS7 as the audio recording. I just want to focus more on the image. Okay, so far it looks pretty good. Maybe I'll let it record for another, you know, 10 seconds. We'll see. Okay, so 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and I'm gonna switch over to the Nikon RAW. All right, so this is a Nikon RAW 12-bit. It is recording a normal color profile. See how it looks? This is a 4K 24 frames per second. It's smaller in data encoding. The 512 gigabytes of CF Express card can record over 2 hours, 2 hours and 5 minutes to be exact. Okay, so we do have more storage, so less data, so that means more storage for this Nikon RAW 12-bit. So maybe the advantage is that it's 1/4 less data encoding, but is the quality, the image look good? I don't know yet. We'll have to look. But let's count to 10, see if it's usable. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now I'm going to switch over to the ProRes HQ. See what that looks like. Alright, so now this is ProRes RAW HQ 12-bit. So how does it look? This is a 4K 24 frames per second. Now I notice this one actually used a lot of data. Right now I only have 38 minutes of recording on a 512 gigabytes CF Express B. So most likely this is not the Kodak I'll be using, because that's a lot of data, and I don't know, the quality's gonna make a big difference. So maybe I'll skip this one if it's this big file. You know, you have 512 gigabytes and you only have like less than 40 minutes of recording. Not a good idea. Okay, even though it's a 4K 24 frames per second. So I'm gonna avoid this. I'm gonna switch over to 10-bit, okay, ProRes RAW, and see if the, I can record more data on it. Okay, maybe it's smaller, right? Alright, so this is the ProRes 10-bit. So it did improve. We have now an hour and 20 minutes around there for 512 gigabytes of CF Express B card. So we increase the amount of storage by double. That means it uses less data. Now, is the quality the same or maybe slightly deteriorated? I don't know. We'll have to look at the video itself. Maybe you can decide for yourself. But to me, it looks fine on my 4-inch screen. But we'll see. If I use ProRes, most likely it will be the 10-bit. And here it looks like I have more storage. Remember, this is an HQ 10-bit. And there's an hour and 20 minutes of recording for 512 gigabytes of storage. So this is more likely more usable, okay, since we have more storage to work with. All right, so I'm going to switch over now. By the way, we're going to compare the ProRes RAW 10-bit, and apparently it can record 1080p. So this is good. This is what I wanted, 1080p, and see how that looks. And then I'm going to pair that with a H265 4K, and then maybe 1080p as well. Let's do the comparison, right? Let's switch over. All right, so now it's ProRes 10-bit, 1080p, 50 frames per second. Okay, so the good news is now I increased my 512 gigabytes of storage. It allow it to record 2 hours and 5 minutes. So this is great. So I have doubled my ProRes going from 4K 12-bit to ProRes 10-bit 1080p 50 frames per second. So usually I film in 1080p anyway, so this might be the one, right? Because I now have over 2 hours of recording and it's still high quality 1080p. I can upscale it to 4K on YouTube. So yeah, this might be the one. I'm going to compare this to the H265 10-bit 420. Okay, well, I think this is a 422, right? So we're going to compare now to the H265 4K and then 10-bit, and then the H25 1080p 10-bit, and maybe I'm going to try the 8-bit as well. Let's do that right now. All right, so now we have H265 10-bit 420 recording. It looks okay on the screen, but we'll have to look in post to see what the image looked like. So probably these are the one I'm going to be using for YouTube or even short films, depending on, if this is usable when you upscale it, right? So if I film everything for like music videos or short films and post up on YouTube, this might be it, right? So it's between the H265 10-bit 420 4K versus the ProRes 1080p 10-bit 50 frames per second, right? So we'll see how that goes. So let's compare that to now the H265 10-bit 1080p. Okay, let's see. All right, so this one is H265 1080p. This is, the focus is not very good here. Okay, for some reason the 1080p, maybe it's a lens, but it's not focusing. Let's see, move around, hopefully. Oh no, it's not doing that. Yeah, so there's something wrong with the 1080p and the focus is off. Don't know why. Okay, anyway, I'm gonna switch over to the 8-bit now, 4K, and then the 1080p. All right, so now I'm doing H265 8-bit 4K 24 frames per second. Now I think there's something wrong with the Nikon reading of how much data I have, because right now it's still saying 2 hours and 4 minutes. So I think after 2 hours, Nikon can't really approximate the amount of storage it has. So I suspect that after 2 hours on my 512 gigabytes, it's not really telling me the exact amount of recording time. So anyway, so here it is. This is the H265 8-bit 4K 24 frames per second. Okay, I don't know how much storage. I'm pretty sure much more than what's telling me right now. So at this point, I can't really compare. But what we're going to do is look at the image, and then I'm going to look at the file size in post and do the comparison. All right, so what do you think of the image for the H265 8-bit 4K 24 frames per second? I'm going to compare the H265 8-bit 1080p, okay, for 24 frames per second right now. All right, so here is the H265 8-bit 24 frames per second 1080p. Okay, again, I cannot tell how much storage I have because Nikon is showing me 2 hours and 5-6 minutes, but it's not very accurate because I'm reducing the amount of data for the Codec, but it's still recording the same. So there's something wrong with Nikon for sure for telling you how much storage you have. Okay, but anyway, this is the one of the lowest one. This is the H265 8-bit 24 frames per second 1080p. Now there's one more. I'm going to try the .mp4. Okay, so the next one, the last one, would be 8-bit 24 frames per second 1080p, and it's a .mp4. Okay, so we'll do that right now. All right, so this is the last codec I'm testing. This is the H264, and it's .mp4 1080p 24 frames per second. All right, so yeah, it definitely probably is the smallest file, and you can probably record for a long period of time, especially if you have like a 512 gigabytes of CF Express card. And of course you can record on your SD card as well. But yeah, the fact that I could do that. Now I just want to compare the color, right, that comes out of these codecs and see which one's the best. Usually what I would do is I record in 1080p and then upscale it to 4K. So it's this smallest file size codec, the H264 1080p 24 frames per second .mp4, the best? I don't know. It looks like it's okay. There was a problem with one of the H265 though. I think 1080p had a problem that the focus was off, but I think it might be the lens, the Viltrox. Anyway, yeah, so that's it. What do you think? Starting with the Redwall 12-bit all the way down to this one here, the H24 1080p 8-bit, right? Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and give me a little heart of appreciation. I like the Nikon ZR. It looks pretty cool. Bye.